Alright, shalom, shalom. Just gonna test the audio real quick. Shalom, shalom. Audio test. Alright. Nice, nice. Alright. Alright, so Barak Teho, Barak Teho Shai, Barak Teho, Barak Teho Shai, Barak Teho, Bashem Yeho Shai, Bashem Makah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of James Great Millstone and teach and rule well, and continue to teach and rule well through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yeho Shai. Peace, love, and salutations to the Akim in the four corners of this earth, pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. To the speckled bird Akim and Apple out there who are tuned in, listening, and learning with hopes of being delivered by Yahweh Bashim Shai from the perilous times that are ahead. Shalom. This is now from James Kingston Jamaica Camp. I'll be going into, you can see it in the title here that the seed that is sown in our mind must be rooted out. And it is coming from, well, 2nd Esdras 4 and 21, right? Well, 2nd Esdras 4, let's see. Okay. It's okay. 2nd Esdras 4 and verse 41 should be, or 21. You can get that exactly like this. But basically, it talks about the seed that is sown must be rooted up in order for a new seed to be planted, right? Which ultimately goes into this current rulership, basically Esau being brought out of rulership here, and the nation of Israel being set up instead, and the fact that Esau must be brought down before that can happen. Verse 29, right? So it says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. Now, I'm just applying this to our minds because an evil seed has been sown in our minds. It has been sown in our minds from our youth coming up. Ultimately by Yahweh Bashmir Shai, but Yahweh Bashmir Shai uses Esau as his tool, as his hand. The wicked is the hand of the Lord, and the wicked is Esau, right? And this is what 2 Corinthians 4 verse 3 says. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the anointed, who is the image of Jehovah Shemeshai, should shine unto them. So at one point, Esau had, at one point, Esau had sown an evil seed in our minds entirely, the whole nation of Israel, right? We didn't know who we were. We thought we were so-called black, so-called Jamaican, so-called slaves, so-called African American, so-called Latinos, Mexican, etc. Right? That seed was sown into our mind by the deception of these devils. Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian white male, and then throughout our youth growing up, through social media, television programming, through different channels, the schooling system, and even society in a whole, right? We were taught lies basically, about who our power is, right? And we weren't grown like men, right? Right? A lot of us were grown effeminate, right? With weird mindset, weird philosophies, believing in wicked things, right? Setting good for evil and evil for good, right? And that shows in the things we eat, the music we produce, the movies that we put forth, adulterous acts, murderous acts, it all shows, So that evil seed has been sown in our minds. Now, Yahushai, right, being a physician, he's going to have the seed rooted out, in order to plant a new seed, and that has been happening for the elect, for men and even women and children that came into this ministry sincerely, right? That is happening right now. The renewing of the mind is happening. That's basically Yahushai through the Spirit, through the scriptures, right? Because Yahushai came in the volume of the book, and the words that are spoken unto us are spirit and life. So I'm going into Hebrews 10 and 7 and St. John 6 and 63, though, right? So these words are spirit of Yahushai, basically, and through these words, right, that evil seed is being rooted out, and a new seed is being planted, right? That noble vine is being planted again. But it's all a process, because we're not there yet. We're not at that perfected state, because that's where we're going, perfection. So this is second, well, it's like your first Peter, first Peter 3 and verse 21. It says, the like figure we're on to even baptism, right? And we have been baptized, you know. It says also now save us, not the putting away the filth of the flesh, but answer of a good conscience towards Yahweh Shai by the resurrection of Yahweh the Anointed. And I wanted to get that precept, but what I wanted to get is, alright, this is one I want to get here. Romans 12. And it says, alright, and be not conformed to this world, right? And be not conformed to this world. Let me even get it from the KJV, because the renewing of the mind, that's what's happening, Yahushai, Yahweh, through Yahushai, you know, pulling, rooting out this evil seed from us, from our minds, right? And basically installing or planting a new seed, right? And that's even, which the heart means love, right? In Hebrew, well, it is love in Hebrew, which means the mind, right? We're being given a fleshly heart, and it's all, we're in the transition of that right now, Romans 12, and I'll start at 1. So we're gonna get verse 1. It's like in the Lord in a bit slow. Alright, it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Shai, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahweh Shai, which is your reasonable service. And be ye not conformed to this world, but be transformed, because this world is evil. It is engulfed in gross, in darkness, right? And the people in gross darkness, you know. So there, and we were once a part of that, right? But now it's saying that we should, with the renewing of our mind, with the planting of the new seed, we ought not to be conformed to this world, but what? Be transformed, because we're made a new plant here, right? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is what is that slakia, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Shai, because how we carry ourselves, right? We should carry ourselves as ambassadors of Yahweh Shai, right? By our character, right? Our words that we speak, the things that we indulge in, you know what I mean? Hey, when two-thirds see us, they see someone who's totally separated from the world, right? And some of them may be standoffish because of that, right? But nonetheless, we should carry ourselves as ambassadors of the Heavenly Father, right? Not as niggas out there, you know what I mean? All right. So as it says, by the renewing of having a good conscience towards the Most High, basically, you know, that's the renewing of the mind right there, because Tutor doesn't have a conscience towards the Most High. They may claim that they are God-fearing people, but they're liars, hypocrites, right? Because they don't regard the Most High in their day-to-day actions, right? They don't seek the Heavenly Father or fear the Heavenly Father. They don't have a good conscience towards the Most High. We didn't either, right? But again, that's that evil seed that has been sown, because the scripture says, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost in the God of this world, which that's Esau, Edom, going into Job 9 and 24, right? So Esau had blinded their minds. Esau had sown an evil seed, yo. And we ought to be thankful that Yahweh Hashem Yeshai basically gave us the truth, yo. And we were set free spiritually, mentally, yo. Right? Um, so let me read it again, Second Ezra uh, 4 and 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. You know? God, and Yahushua and the straits, the straits that we're being brought through is a means by which this evil is being taken away, yo. The evil sown is being taken away from us, right? It basically we're being purged, right? We're being tried and refined, right, to become acceptable men, you know, and that's why you shouldn't really um doubt the straits or be offended by whatever straits you may be going through, yo, right? But take it with good cheerfulness, as Sirach 2 and 1 would say, yo, be cheerful when you are brought to a low estate, because this is us being transformed, reformed, basically. We're being changed into men, real men, you know, and it's just a path, you know. We call it a rite of passage, basically. It is a rite of passage, right? That's why when you see like people, mainly even artists, they'll talk about sing about gun and killing and how they murder murderers and how they're the wickedest thing alive, and then try to sing about their heart is clean and God and Psalms. It doesn't really work, yo, because the evil hasn't been rooted out, yo. Yet still they're trying to add good on top of the evil, right? Without removing the evil, you know. Right? That's like taking painkillers because you're in pain, but not trying to remedy the actual issue. You know, you're just taking painkillers, and yet still whatever may be causing the issue, you're still indulging in that. You know, whether it's eating pork or anything. You know, you have to get rid of the pork. You have to get rid of what's causing the illness, and then get rid of the illness instead of just taking pain pills. So if you want to feel better, right? Nonetheless, this is Psalms 19, Psalms 119 and 9, and I'm going into this because this is the way by which um we that evil seed is being rooted out as well, and the new seed being planted again by the words, yo. And we can only be cleansed, or we can only be mentally cleansed and spiritually cleansed by taking heed to the word of the Heavenly Father. Psalms 119 and 9. Beth, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed if there are there too, according to thy word, yo. So only according to the words of the Heavenly Father, how Shai can our ways be cleansed, right? And that's happening. That's why we go through the streets. That's why we have demons, plaguing us constantly to keep us in that docile state of mind, in the congregation of the dead. But hey, we're quickened. We have been quickened, yo. You know, and so much so more mentally, in our minds, spiritually, right? And that's where we ought to have strength overall, not physical strength, because physical strength is good, yes. I mean, but what's physical strength if you don't have a good mindset, right? Mental strength, spiritual strength, you know. So hey, the seed that is sown, the evil seed that is sown in our minds, it is being rooted up, you know. And I should put the evil seed, but I have only the seed. It's lucky about that. But regardless, I hope this lesson will be edifying to the body of Yahweh Bashim Shai, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kodash. Again, the wellness to our apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone, who teach and rule well, continue to teach and rule well through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Peace, love, and salutations to the elect of Israel. Shalom. I'm gonna see if I can edit the title right now. The evil. Alright, that's 7. Alright, shalom.